President Biden's approval rating hitting a new all-time low. Yahoo Finance senior columnist Rick Newman is here. Rick, what gives? Inflation is decelerating. Aren't things supposed to be better?
How low can it go? I'm actually surprised. This poll shows 34% approval rating for President Biden. In the aggregate of polls maintained by 538 and by Real Clear Politics, he's still a little higher than that, around 40%. But it seems to be going in the wrong direction, Julie. I mean, you would think that as inflation gets down to the 3% range, and let's not forget about gasoline prices, all the way down to around $3 a gallon and probably going lower. I mean, those are all going the right direction for President Biden. And I think the sort of main narrative here is that inflation is just becoming less and less of a story, and there is every reason to think that will continue. So you'd think that this would be good because Biden's I was going to say his inflation rating, but I mean his approval rating. I mean, it went down in direct correlation to inflation going up in 2022. But as inflation has come down, Biden's approval rating hasn't budged. In fact, it appears to be going down even further. So what's going on here? I think a lot of people are kind of puzzled by this. I mean, one explanation is that all the price increases that have taken place over the last 2 years, those are not going away. Those are still there. So people are still paying those. But maybe it's something else. I mean, maybe it really is his age. We know that he's doing really poorly on immigration and on the chaos at the southwest border with thousands of migrants coming across. Maybe that's it, although there's not really anything new about that. Maybe it's that people see another war in the Middle East and they just feel unnerved. But look, Biden is clearly taking it on the chin here.
Rick, these numbers are just absolutely awful for Biden, right? So give me the Rick Newman take. The Rick Newman chances I'm interested here are whether Biden actually stays in this race. I mean, do you see it as 90%, 75, 50%? What do you think?
Yeah, at this point, I think, assuming that he stays healthy, I think it's upwards of 95%. I mean, it's almost too late for anybody else to get in unless there is some kind of emergency. And look, Biden's got an ego. He's not just Mr. Everyday dude. He clearly thinks that this is his moment. Politicians can, be very adept at just rationalizing away bad news or convincing themselves that 6 months from now, it's all going to look much better. It might. I mean, it's possible that in 6 months or 9 months or 11 months, which is what Biden really needs, that this situation actually looks better for him because the war between Israel and Hamas, that could be over or very much simmered down by then. Inflation could be a nothing burger in the 2% range, even lower. The outlook for the economy actually is pretty good for 2024, but Biden is just none of these benefits are accruing to him, and he's got to be wondering, what am I doing wrong?
Rick Newman, always love your perspective. Thank you, sir, for being on the show today.
Guys.